Hey everybody, welcome to my video on this cold day in June in Montreal. It's like a cold day. I think it's the coldest day in June I've maybe ever experienced. Okay, enough of that. This video is about the Montreal Canadiens lineup going into the qualifying round against the Pittsburgh Penguins and what it might look like in two different ways. With Max Domi, without Max Domi, because I think there's going to be a big problem for Montreal in their chances to possibly beat Pittsburgh. Will Max Domi play? Because if Max Domi is not able to play, he's a type 1 diabetic, and the medical staff is trying to find ways that will allow him to play without it being dangerous to him in the form of will he catch the virus or not. So they can keep him playing safely where they're confident that he's safe. He'll play, but I don't see how they do that, and I don't think he ends up playing. So what can the Habs lineup look like either way? It's going to be kind of crucial because, let's face it, Pittsburgh's got quite a stacked lineup, especially offensively, and I don't see how Montreal counters that. This is one of the big problems. Now, with Max Domi, I'm not saying Montreal doesn't have a chance. I mean, they do either way. But with Max Domi, they have a much better chance to win here and do well in these playoffs. But without him, I don't know. So we're going to take a look and see what the lineup will look like with him, without him. And on defense, we've got question mark on Alex Romanov. We've got question mark on Victor Mete. And we're going to take a look at that too. So first up, we are going to look at what does the Pittsburgh lineup look like. So this is what I think the Pittsburgh lineup is going to look like. I've gone over and taken a look and see what the lineups were like with their injuries and then with everybody back. This is what I think it'll look like with everybody back. Now that's assuming Jake Guentzel comes back. I say that because I know the word's out. Everyone's going to be healthy. This is not actually true for every single player that's been injured. Some players will not be back. As far as Guentzel, I did read where he said he should be back. And he should be ready. Now, should be and will be not the same thing. So I question, first of all, whether he will be, or if he is he at 100%? Is he a little rusty? Is his game, well, a little rusty, that's his game, right? So he might not be the Guentzel that we expect him to be, and he might not even be playing, but that's assuming he's playing. You're probably going to see Jason Zucker, Crosby, and Guentzel on the first line. Marleau, who, yes, he's old, but remember now, rested. And Marleau could do some damage if his game is on. So you got to look at it. He's, this is a dangerous line as well. Marleau, Malkin, and Rust. So you got two really solid lines with two solid, maybe the best centers in the league. I mean, they're arguably, right? And, yeah, you're going to get some offense there. So you got to counter that. That's Montreal's main job, is how do you counter that, especially with Max Domi not there. We do have more centers than we had over the previous bunch of years, but it's not like we have enough guys that when one is missing that you have the depth to bring in another one and he's going to do just as good a job. I don't see that happening. So third line for them, you got McCann. I think it's going to be Nick Bjugstad. He should be ready as well, and he is an opposite side shot of these two guys, which brings you opposite, and I think even Bluger is left side. I think it's left, and Bjugstad is on the right. It gives you an opposite side for the face-off. Another option on face-offs, especially important ones, and you never know when that could be important. So I think it's going to be Bjugstad. So we got McCann, Bjugstad, Hornquist, Aston Reese, Bluger, and Tanev on the fourth line. Apparently they were together all season when all three were healthy. When there were injuries, maybe there were differences, but when all three were healthy, that was the fourth line. I expect that to be the case for this play-in. On defense, you got Dumoulin, Letang, Chris Letang, Montrealer, and Habs killer a bit. He likes to get a lot of offense against Montreal. Marcus Peterson, John Marino, he's the rookie, going to be a great player. Great option. Will eventually replace Letang as the number one, I would think. And Jack Johnson and Justin Schultz. So that's the lineup that I think we have to counter and find a way to win. So how do we do that? On Montreal's side, I think you kind of Okay, so you've got Tatar, Dano, Galley, and I don't think you break them up. Why don't you break up Tatar, Dano, Galley? Because the three players taken individually are good players, but when you put them together, it's a great line, and they're much better together than they are apart. And I don't think the team is the same when you don't have Tatar, Dano, Galley as the number one line. They can play and shut down the other team's line. They can produce offense against the other team's line. And I think their main job is going to be to shut down whatever line they're playing against. But they're fully capable to do that, and you don't want to break them up. So I think that stays no matter what the option of Domi is. So Max Domi's playing. Max Domi is going to be your second line center. I think he has a little bit more NHL experience than Nick Suzuki. I like his energy. I like his puck skills, his strength on the puck. I like the fact that in these kind of big games, he has this extra drive that he goes into, and I want to put it there. I think he has a better chance to shut down the opposition line than the Nick Suzuki-led line. And I'm going to give you another reason why I want Suzuki on the third line. But we're going to fill out this. I think you go with Armia on the right and Lehkonen on the left. I'm going to tell you why in a sec. It's not non, it's neat. Okay, so Armia is a big guy. Domi's not as big. Armia kind of counterbalances Domi's height or size, which I like. Plus, Armia has a defensive ability with his stick to get in the way of shots and of passes. Plus, he transitions really quick when he intercepts something and drives to the net. He can produce offense in that really quick, sudden, all of a out of the blue kind of way. And I think that works well with a guy like Domi as his center. And I want Lehkonen on that wing also because, no, Lehkonen doesn't produce the offense. That's not his part. But Lehkonen is a super smart player. He's got that 200-foot game. And I think he makes up a little bit of the defensive liability that Max Domi has when he's playing center. So you counter that with Lehkonen, and I like that. So Lehkonen, Domi, Armia. So that leaves Suzuki, obviously, third line. Now, why do I like Suzuki on the third line when all season I wanted Suzuki to be second line center? I like it for this reason. If these top two lines here can shut down these top two lines here, then you need your offense is going to need to come from third and fourth line. Your bottom six players are going to become that much more important. And I'd like to see what Nick Suzuki can do here. I think he's perfectly suited to that type of role. Look what he did with the Guelph Storm going into the playoffs the previous season where they won the championship. Suzuki stepped up his game. He increased his, however you want to put it, he stepped up his game. He produced the offense. He led that team, and they won the championship. And he's capable of doing that here. Yes, he's a rookie. Will he do it here? I don't know, but I'd like to give him the option, and I think he might be your best option that way. Third line, it might be the key to providing offense to beat the Penguins. Who's going to play with him? I want to see Drouin. Drouin had some chemistry with him, I think, already. Drouin plays a good offensive game, plays if he can play like he did the first 19 games, he was hitting, he was going after the puck, he was doing everything you want a winger to do, going into the corners, fighting for the puck. He needs to do that. Plus, he's got the shot, he's got the ability to stick handle, he's got super talent. I think it works well together. On the other side, I want to see Paul Byron. I want to see the Paul Byron that was there for the last, 5-6 games, where he really found his game. Maybe he looked better than I've ever seen him playing for Montreal. Can turn the Jets on when he needed to. He plays a defensive game. I just think he's the perfect, not foil, but he fits in well with these guys. This line, Drouin, Suzuki, Byron, has the potential to produce good offense and has the potential to, I won't say a checking line, but the potential to slow down the other side, to break up plays, and all the good stuff that you want on the defensive side. So that leaves fourth line. Fourth line is severely affected, in my opinion, by the trade deadline trades. You got Nate Thompson out of town, and Nick Cousins, who would look great on this fourth line for this qualifying round and maybe going into the playoffs. You don't have them. So you've got Jake Evans. I would keep Dale Weiss. Dale Weiss has some size. Dale Weiss has some toughness and meanness. Dale Weiss has some ability offensively. And I think with what your options are and your lack of depth, really experience depth, he does have some playoff experience and then got NHL experience. You put Weiss there. And on the other side, I think it's one of two players, Jordan Weal or Charles Hudon. I kind of think it might be Hudon. But if you want a little more experience, and it's not that much more, you might have Weal. But one of those two guys, I think, will fit on the left side there. And that's if Max Domi is here. Now, I put the defense up here also because there's a possibility Alex Romanov plays. If they change their mind, July 1st is supposed to be the decision on the players that were signed during this pause that did not have start dates to their contracts because the teams didn't know when they were going to start up and didn't want to waste or blow the first year of the ELC for nothing. The decision could come down opposite of what it is now, where they're saying that they won't play, and they could be changed, and I'm hoping it will be. I think there's a good chance it will be, and that would mean Romanov would play, and I would put Romanov here, third pairing, which I think he's going to do in his first season anyway. I think you want to break him in there. If you're being bold, you can put him second. I don't think that'll happen. I think second you're going to have Kulak. And if Mete is healthy, but we don't know this yet, it could be Mete or Kulak playing with Petrie. So that leaves who plays with Romanov. What's that line, third pairing, going to look like if Romanov's here? So I think your options on the other side literally are Ouellette. Okay. And could have Juleson if he's playing well enough and he's fully healthy. You could have Fleury. You could have a couple of, I'm going to say Ouellette or Follin, because I guess I could put Follin. Those are the two guys that were up at the end of when they got suspended the games. And I think those are your probably two best options other than Juleson and Fleury. And I don't know if those guys are well enough and ready enough to be added here. So I'm going to leave that open. That's where I'm going to put there. So now we'll go on to the other side and look at what happens if Max Domi doesn't play. And it causes a big problem because if Max Domi can't play because they don't feel it's safe enough and he decides, well, I don't think it's safe enough, I don't want to play, because it is his option in the end, right? So that creates a huge hole down the center. We're still not deep enough in centers that, well, okay, we can take Domi out and we have a fill-in. Yeah, Suzuki can fill in on that second line. Obviously, he can be the second line center, but you still have a hole on the third line. And we just established, I think, that the third line could be very important in getting offense out of this lineup to beat the Penguins with, right? So we're not going to break up Danault, Tatar, and Galley. We're not. And Galley, by the way, if anybody's not sure, that's Brendan Gallagher. A lot easier saying Galley. I do it all the time. So we're not going to break that up because that line is magic when they're together and a lot less so when they're not together. And I think it's important that we have that magic coming from that first line. That might be the biggest key to them having any success in the qualifying round. So second line, who's going to be the center? I don't think you have a choice. I think it has to be Nick Suzuki. As much as I would like him on the third, I think it needs to be Nick Suzuki. So you got Nick Suzuki back in the second line center role. I think he's going to do a wonderful job there, but I don't know how much offense is going to be able to flow out of that, considering your opposition. Strong, super strong down the center, top two lines. Good, solid lines. So I want to play the same thing. I want to play Armia. And for the same reasons, Armia defensively and offensively, that quick transition, he could be great for Suzuki gets the puck, and Armia's there at the net. And I also like Lehkonen there because Lehkonen has that same ability. He has that same ability to get to the net. Just as much as he's a 200-foot player, smart guy, and in that smarts, he has that anticipation. And how many times does he gets that chance right at the net? Yeah, he has trouble finishing. I get that. But he gets that chance right at the net, and you wonder, where the hell did he come from? Because he's able to do that. So I like him playing with Suzuki. Just as much as I like him playing with Domi, I like these guys playing with Suzuki. So now we're left with the hole. Because we have Jake Evans and Weiss down there. We're going to fill in that, but we have that hole right there. Who plays there? I thought it took me about 15, 20 minutes, blah, 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 blah. You know what the solution in my mind is? You've got a guy who, when he was traded and brought in here, he was brought in to be the #1 center because we had nobody. And he didn't do that well. And I don't think he's a #1 center. I don't think he's a #2 center. I don't really think he's a center at all. But he has played there. And maybe this is a time for him to prove to everybody that he can play there. And that's Jonathan Drouin. We don't have the depth at center to bring anybody in. And he has some experience there. He's been playing really well. Maybe this is his opportunity, and I don't see what else he do. So I put Drouin there. And not 100% confident in it, but you know what? It's a bold time. It's a qualifying round. You want to win. You want to go far. You don't have much other option. You don't have the depth. These guys need to step up and do it. Drouin is supposed to be, if not an elite player, right up there. Let's let him. He's going to have to prove it. I'm going to say as well, Byron with him, because I think that could work. They're both fast. They're both talented. They can both handle the puck. No, Byron maybe not as talented as Drouin overall, but I think he can definitely stay with him and handle anything that comes his way. So I would have Byron there, obviously. I would not put Byron here for any reason. We need as much talent in the top 3 lines as we can get. Now, on the other side, you got Wheel, you got Hudon. Same thing. You do have other options down on the farm, but I don't know if they're as good as these 2 guys to bring up or to put in there. So, is it Wheel or Hudon? I think Charles Hudon has something to prove. He wants to get re-signed next season. He wants to play in the NHL next season. He needs to prove something. So this is his opportunity. And look, let's face it. If Montreal is going to beat Pittsburgh, some of these guys need to step up, need to raise the level of their play, and give it all they got, and whatever, however you want to put it. It's a battle, but they got to step their game up. There's no way around it. So if Hudon can do that, then maybe we got a shot. And then that leaves Wheel for over here. Wheel, Evans, and Weiss, and I think that's adequate. I don't think that's a fully an NHL 4th line, but with those trade deadline trades, I don't see how we're going to put that together. And then on defense, so what if Romanov is not playing? So with Romanov out, it kind of leaves, it's a problem. I think you put Kulak with Petrie. Kulak and Petrie played well together. Kulak had his game going. Near the end, Kulak was playing a lot better. Also, again, with lack of depth here, you don't have much option other than Victor Mete. So it could be Mete. I'll put Mete here as a possibility. Could be Mete. If Mete's healthy and you still want Kulak there, you can put Mete down here. So I think you have, I think down here, if it's not going to be Mete, Kulak Mete, I think you've got, don't laugh now, Alzner. Alzner's a lefty. Alzner's about goddamn time. Alzner shows that he's an NHLer. If he wants to play in the NHL again, I think he needs the opportunity, and I think he needs to respond to it. So you got an Alzner possibility. You got Willette. He can shift over. And, oh yeah, I didn't spell it right. O-U-E-L-T, Willette. And then the right side becomes, who do you go with on the right side? Once again, Juleson, if he's healthy enough and he's playing well, could be Juleson. It could be Fleury. and it could be Folin. So I'm going to put Folin there for now, because we don't know about Juleson. We don't know why they had demoted Fleury and kept him down. Maybe there's a reason. So I'm going to put Folin there, but it could be Juleson or Fleury over there. So I think this is a lineup that you might see. I don't see the other options. I'm not saying for sure this is 100%. This is going to be the lineup. I don't know. But I don't see the other options. They don't have the ability to make a trade and bring anybody in. They would have had to do that at the trade deadline, and nothing has changed. They were talking about maybe making a new trade deadline. They haven't done that. So I don't see the options. They don't have the depth right now, proved over the season with the injuries, and they weren't able to respond properly. So this is what I see. So let me know what you think. If you like the video, give a thumbs up. In the comment section, which is down there as well, let me know what you think about my lineup, how you would change it, what you would do if Domi's out for that third line center, or have Suzuki third line, or who you put in the second line. Let me know there in the comment section. Really appreciate that. Looking forward to any comments. And anybody who hasn't subscribed already, while you're down there, subscribe, ring that notifications bell. That is going to get you your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge right here at Talking Habs. And thanks everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please stay safe out there. Everything's opening up around, so that's great. But the virus is still out there, so we need to do things to make ourselves safe. And one of the best things they're proving that is really important is wearing a mask when you're out in public, that you can't really separate from people and you can't keep the distance. You need to wear a mask. Shopping, things like that. Please do that. I want to see you guys all be safe, and we should all continue in this community and enjoy hockey and not have to worry about the virus too much. So wear a mask, wash your hands, all that good stuff. And everybody in the States and all over the world, at the protests and all that, please be safe if you're going, or if you live around there or in the area or whatever. Please be safe from that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you next video. Bye, y'all.